Rush Limbaugh decided to credit Republicans today for the passage of the Civil Rights Act.
You know, I'm watching Obama. He's at the LBJ Library. And he's the speech here marking the 50 years since the enactment of the Civil Rights Act. And you know what he said? He said, as we commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act, we honor the men and women who made it possible, which is a big switch because normally he attacks Republicans. What? No, the Democrats didn't make the... You know, this is one of the big myths of recent American history. The Democrats were the segregationists. Do you know that a greater percentage of Republican senators voted for the Civil Rights Act than Democrats?
He is both exactly wrong and exactly right at the same time. So let me explain what I mean by that. At the time, the parties were switching, Rush. The parties were switching. So another way that he could have said that was not Democrat versus Republican, because that'll confuse people, because, again, the parties were switching at the time. It was conservative versus liberal. And guess what? All of the conservatives voted against the Civil Rights Act. All the liberals were the ones who voted for it. Now, that's why he's wrong, because he doesn't give you the context. He doesn't tell you that, look, at the time, the parties were switching. At the time, they're not the same parties that they are today. But that was one of the biggest moments, it was a game-changing moment for American politics, and it led to a complete switch of the parties, where the conservatives used to be the Democratic Party, then it became the conservatives were the Republicans. So I'll actually give you the breakdown, because the part where he's right is in the literal explanation that actually a higher percentage of Republicans voted for it. So I'll give you the breakdown here. The original House version of the Civil Rights Act, Democratic Party voted 152 votes in favor, 96 votes against. Republican was 138 votes in favor, 34 votes against. So technically 61% of Democrats voted for it, and 80% of Republicans voted for it. And then when you go to cloture in the Senate, basically what cloture means is you're voting on allowing a vote on it. So the Democratic Party voted 44 in favor, 23 against. So it was, that's 66% in favor. Republican Party voted 27 in favor, 6 against. So that's 82% in favor. And then when you get to the actual Senate version, Democrats voted 46 to 21 in favor. That's 69% in favor. Republicans voted 27 to 6 in favor. That's 82% in favor. And then the Senate version voted on by the House. It was Democrats 153 to 91, so it's 63% in favor. And the Republican Party was 136 to 35. That's 80% in favor. So the problem with what he's saying is that he's not giving you the context of the time. He's not telling you that that's when the parties were switching and there were a lot of conservative Democrats at the time, the Dixiecrats. But if he were being honest, what he would say is it was all conservatives who voted against the Civil Rights Act. And by the way, those are the people who then all became Republicans. After the passage of the Civil Rights Act and the Democratic president, Lyndon Johnson, signing it, he famously said, we're going to lose the South for a generation. And he was right, because all the conservative Democrats, the Dixiecrats, immediately changed to the Republican Party after that. And that is the party that Rush Limbaugh currently defends today. He is part of the party that has the people that voted against the Civil Rights Act. That is a fact. And we all know that that's the reality, man. For a guy like Limbaugh to pretend like, oh yeah, he would have been marching front line with Martin Luther King Jr. He would have been fighting for, a living wage for people or equality in the healthcare system. I mean, these are things that Rush Limbaugh openly opposes today. But this is the oldest Republican trick in the book, by the way. This is the oldest conservative trick in the book. As soon as something gets to a point where it's no longer arguable, it's no longer debatable, where you look back at it and you go, wow, what the fuck were the opponents thinking? So, and this isn't just, with the example of the Civil Rights Act. How about interracial marriage? That's another one. The conservatives were completely against interracial marriage. And they used religion and the Bible to back up their claims. They said, look, the Bible's against it, so I'm against it. The same shit that they say today with gay marriage. It's not me against it, it's the Bible that's against it. I'm just going by what the Bible says, so I'm in favor of banning interracial marriage. Well, now today, since it's gotten to a point where it's totally inarguable, if anybody makes that point, it's like, fuck you. So don't marry somebody of a different race if you don't like interracial marriage. What the fuck? Don't take it away from other people. What are you, an idiot? What are you, the dumbest person on the planet? What's wrong with you? Now, all of a sudden, they do the same thing. They look back and say, oh, no, we were always on the side of, being in favor of interracial marriage. In fact, we were the ones who actually passed it. We were the ones that fought for it. No, you weren't. And by the way, this is proof that the Stephen Colbert line is true. Reality has a well-known liberal bias. I mean, American history is just time and time again an example of the liberals being right and the conservatives being wrong. And then after we get our way, especially on the social issues, they come out later and they go, oh, no, we were totally on that side all along. In fact, we were the ones who led the charge. We were the ones who fought for it. And yeah, but it was them who were against it. That's the reality of it.